So I was playing outside, like, so he calls me and takes me like down the tree, and he tells me, show me here, show me here. I was 3 years, imagine.
No woman that can take your spotlight. If I wrote you a symphony, just to say how much you mean to me, what would you do if I told you you were beautiful?
Hello, how are you, our people? I know you're watching us. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're new in this space, kindly consider subscribing, consider sharing. This is our YouTube channel, Wives
Rising.
Yeah, we have our slogan, and remember, we are not perfect, but marriage is not a straight line, but
every day we strive to make it straight.
Thank you, my ladies. Every day we strive to make it perfect, because life is not perfect. That's why we are here to share our experiences. We want to walk with you this journey. Remember, we are not perfect, because people you have these tendencies are those ladies. No, we are not. But every day we strive, every day. Hallelujah. Yeah. So my name is Karin Nine and
Beatrice Chimpi, Barbara Emiro, Sandra Vanger.
So we are going to go on the other side, because life there is that A and B. So we are going to that part B. That part B, share with people how was it, especially the negative bit of your youthful age. How did you navigate through?
When people hear that you grew up in church, they think it was a woeful.
Yes, you're right, Beatrice.
Girls
very right.
are in church, but girls are suffering.
True.
I grew up with a mother who was, was close to me, but up to when she died, some things she died without not knowing that I went through them. I'll start by sharing the pressure to live up to, how do I say, most of the things that attack us as girls are things that when the devil wants to attack you,
those things that
get you off the hook, he will pass through boys. And how was I introduced to these things of boys? It was in secondary, in senior 1. I come to school. I remember all my friends are saved. Me, I spot you that you know how to read scriptures. You know scripture. But there was a girl who was very sharp. She was going to drain me from God. How? I was staying with my auntie. Poor guys, we've grown up in poverty. Even if you run to your auntie, poverty is there. Is in just the whole class.
You have to
Taking old cassava in salt. So tomorrow morning, everyone gets as you pick, and then you go to school. Remember, you're in secondary, senior 1. You know how senior buns? Then you reach school with these rich kids. It had boarding and day. For us who are coming from day. Then that girl, I will not mention her name, she'll be like, but you girl, the way you're beautiful and the way you eat cassava. We cannot get a boy who can get you money to earn it. Then she would come. Every day she would be on my neck. Beatrice, you're not going to. I'll be in class, but first of all, my mom doesn't have money for paying for lunch. 60,000. My auntie also doesn't have money. Like the way you went to school is how you come back in the evening. After you will eat when your auntie has come back. She used to work in Owino. She comes back with her food. You cook her midnight, that is when you'll eat. So imagine how a girl navigates that. Meanwhile, from home to school, there's a distance. You're having boys on the village.
Watching the
focus. I was so focused, but this one girl was going to get my name, because she would come on me every day, be like, the way she's eating her sumbusas and chapatis, you be there. Then she forced herself on me. Like, now I'm going to get you a guy. So the first guy, I will not also say the name. He was like, this guy has to be your boyfriend. So I was this shy girl. Things of boys, I was like, so one day on break time, she comes with a boy who's like, Mr. X, this is the girl I was. After she phoned me lunchtime for us to go Sakusaba, because there's no lunch. What if you would eat lunch, it would be sweets. You know, sweets are 50 shillings, 5 sweets for 50 shillings. Then to give you glucose to go through the whole, you know.
day.
So as I'm sitting, so the guy was from a rich family and in boarding. Like the girl really starts the conversation. Amma, she likes you. She even told me.
I like
and tell her she's like, and the guy was on me, and he knew that I loved books, so he stole my bag.
Oh.
The guy stole my bag to start a conversation. But to cut the long story short, this girl was staying in Kalere. She was exposed to sex. She was exposed to men for money. Senior one. And so that was how I survived. That was because I knew who I wanted to be in future. I never gave in.
You never gave in?
No, I never.
You didn't talk about your...
I did. I had this thing of undermining.
Here, Barbara, Emma.
She was sent out to NBA.
Yeah. Like, you guy, Mr. X, you buy me chapati for 500 in exchange for my body. When I'm going to be some big person in future, I'll be like,
what a focused
you know. Until one time she had to just like and then I grew closer with my friends who we had the same focus, and the other ones also made their own clique. They were the beautiful girls. So that was secondary, a bit of secondary. I'll come in with a bit of but you know, that is school. But home, and some of my friends had to be, you know, they got impregnated through that. But I would say it is because of that contentment to know that I'm called for more. I'm called for something greater.
God, Beatrice, you survived. Focused you deserve a hand clap. Yes, clap for Beatrice. As we go to Barbara, share, how did you survive with your self-esteem?
Well, actually, me, I did suffer a lot with boys. I think it's because of my appearance. I look young. So I did really suffer a lot with boys.
And young.
Well, me actually even knowing things about boys was at campus. Even about
your navigation was so easy.
And in school, me, I think what my problems would be, people are wanting to affect, like wanting to, you know, put you down with your appearance, wanting to put you down with your background. In school, I had to join. Of course, I had the clique of the top girls because I couldn't afford to be down still. I had the top girls, so in school we were like on the top. So I didn't face bullying.
Yeah.
I was still the poor one, but still I could still somehow put myself there. So really about boys and all that, I didn't struggle.
Wow. Sandra, navigate and see. How did you survive?
Oh, Banag, by the grace of God. Okay, me, I grew up in a single school, like I told you before. But in holidays, I really had these village boys that could really come in and disturb. Actually, I grew up being a proud girl. People would say that I'm so proud, but not being so proud. Okay, even my character, like, as kind of reserved. But on top of being reserved, I added on being proud. Also, me, I felt I'm on a different level compared to these village people.
Villagers.
Yeah. So in being reserved and proud, I did not share my secret with anyone at home, not even my mother. She did not know whatever was going on in my life. Actually, what I didn't like most was to send me to the shop, because every time I could be sent on the shop, made those boys they would come chasing me.
Don't say their names,
I can't say their names because most of you, actually, you might be even knowing them because they are cowmates. They are still there. The guys could chase me. Actually, Karine knows our place. They could chase me up to that place of chairs. So I could go running. I never wanted to be sent.
And you couldn't tell your mom that.
And I couldn't tell my mother that. I couldn't tell my mother that those guys are chasing me. But every time she could send me to the shop, I was like, "Mommy, I'm not going." Why? And you know our parents those days. You refuse and then supper to comes out. You're being beaten and what. But I couldn't open up to her that boys are really disturbing me. But I thank God that no one took advantage of me. You know, some girls are raped on the way and everything. But the good thing, at home, the latest you could be home and the latest they could send you out there, it would be 5. after 5, no one would go to the shop. So somehow also that helped me survive.
Wow.
But also to add on that, like I was not disturbed, but somehow it affected. Like at some point I would be asking myself, but how come I'm not being vibed? It happened.
It happened.
I was like, of course at some point I was like, but I think I'm not all that attractive. Actually at campus, my friends were asking, hey, boyfriend. So I was like, but I think I'm not all that attractive. So maybe, but for someone, because I had the other ST, it did like hit me a lot.
Eat you up.
This guy's not vibing me. But then I could actually take it off really fast.
You close
but
the
of course
page.
you ask yourself, why? But by the way, you don't have a problem. It's not your problem. You don't have a problem.
It is their problem.
So Karin, how was yours? Karin, tell us how was yours.
Hey, mine. People will say that I walked on a soft ground. No, we don't.
But you did.
Yeah, don't. Because my secondary, what helped me most, especially at home, we used to fear our dad. My dad was this tough dude. You couldn't afford to mess up. I don't remember actually me standing with any guy in my area. I know you're watching me. I don't remember. But again at school it was a different story because we had I was in a mixed school. We had our clique as girls. Of course we did a few things here and there, but my main thing that really disturbed me was the fact that I was too proud and I became abusive. I used to abuse the ugly girls. That Beatrice Wambona.
The chubby one.
I would be on your case. And my friends, forgive me. Now I'm a changed person. That was the thing. This love, you come and you share your friends.
Too much love.
Yeah, too much love. Bakuwana, you're everywhere, you're bright. So I used to disgrace my friends. That is the only thing that sometimes I go back and be like, God, forgive me. And I would request I would discuss that friends, before I gave my life to Christ, I was this abusive girl. I used to disgrace my friends so much.
And then being a teen, you do a lot of things.
Yeah, so that was but the boys' things, that was not my energy. That was not my energy.
I'll add on my youth. Briefly home. That thing up to now, I think I'm still dealing with the trauma, mostly for home. Me right now, to leave my children in the hands of relatives.
Yeah.
Most so, it is hard. It is hard for me to have male relatives. Mostly, I will be open if I have only one brother. That's the only person actually I can. That is the farthest I can trust my child. His dad, that's all. The rest, because there was this one time at my grandmother's place, the one I told you, would go for holidays. So I reached a time when I would cry when my mom was taking me there. Why?
But mom could not realize that.
No, she couldn't realize that these people. My mom was very tough, and I would not
and
tell
remember,
them.
the moment you're not open to your mother, they cannot know those things.
Then parents, we are requesting kindly. You're seeing your young beautiful girl crying, but you continue to drag her. Moms, let us be a bit sensitive.
Yeah.
Yes, Beatrice.
Yeah.
Go a bit deeper.
So
that
what I
people
found
will
there was a guy who used to call my grandmother. She was a son to the sister. So I don't know how people, but it was a relative, a mature man, married with 3 children. But he was working for our family. The family was really big. He was a popular guy, so he had a lot of workers, and he was okay employing family members. So the way our fence was built, it was built with boys' quarters. So those who had anything with the family, they would stay inside. Then other workers would stay extremely in the farms and so on. So this one time, how was I exposed? My grandfather got an accident. The pole hit his eye. So my grandmom had to go
your grandfather.
So yes, so everyone used to sleep out. I would sleep in the house with. That holiday, it was so bad that I was the only holiday mate.
Oh.
So most of the other people were sleeping in the boys' quarters, and this guy was given keys. So I was in a room, and I was young. Up to now, it still traumatizes my head when I see on the news that someone has raped a girl for 3 months, 3 years. I'm like, people are insane. But more so a person who is close to you and your grandparents can't know. She only slept there for 2 days, but those days when she came like this, I was like, I want to go home. But what helped me was the movies I used to watch with my dad. My dad used to teach me self-defense. He was a soldier, so he used to teach me self-defense. He used to tell me if you want to hurt a man, how to fight back. But then I didn't know that it would come to me that close. So it came that I was with this guy. I was left alone. I was in the house alone with this person. So at night, it was a man. So I was sleeping. The maids are all sleeping in the boys' quarters. In the main house, I'm alone, and he's the one who has keys. So I was sleeping at night, very young. I hear someone. Someone touching me. I'm telling you, that's the trauma I carried up to now. I need healing. That healing. When I heal. Yeah. And I was like, so when I woke up like this, I was called Nambozi because that's my my name. So like Nambozi. So I knew him, an old person.
How old were you, Beatrice?
I think I was like 13.
Oh, very young.
So I heard my mouth. She was like, because if I would shout, the maid was going to hear and come. Sounds like the Askaris were walking outside the gate south. I shivered like this. So he had an Askari passing on the window like this, and he saw me the way I was scared, and it was about to get to day. So that's how I survived. So the next day, I had to fight for myself because this time he had come to rape me.
Oh,
then I remembered my father told me, you hit me. Like he was teaching me how to do that kungu. So I fought and I really hit that guy in my small job. And that's how I survived. But that is not all. Why I decided to bring this topic. It was because, when people see, we were young, when people hear someone who
Christian girl from church,
you think that you were protected from all sides. Well, the angels were there to protect us, but my mother wasn't there.
Your grandmother wasn't there.
No one was there.
And that is not all. That one is a distant relative. There are those who were like real cousins. Like now this is, another grandfather's home. And right now I look at those people when I grow up, I'm like,
oh no.
Imagine.
But now, it's so funny that I don't know how I was close with my dad. These ones, because my dad used to tell me, anyone who disturbs you, tell me. So these ones, I've just flashed back. This one was in my teens. This one was a bit younger. I told my dad, and my dad beat them. So that is how my youthfulness was.
A daughter that is close with the father, they are strong women. So we encourage fathers to be in their girls' lives.
Yes.
Fathers,
Me, I think
see and look and admire Beatrice.
I am a product of my
Actually,
father.
not only fathers, even for example, the single mothers, you try as much as possible to be in your child's life. Now, like I told you, I was reserved and proud.
And you did
My
not
mom,
share.
I did not share anything. Actually, right now, she can even tell you that one did not date any person. She thinks the first person I dated.
But Sandra, now that we are navigating, what stopped you from sharing with your mom?
As we weren't close. We weren't close.
Mom used to be busy.
Yeah, she used to be busy. My mom is a working mother, so she used to go out early in the morning, 7, and then come back in the night. Come back around 7, 6, and when she comes back, who left the saucepan here? Who left this here? Who left this here?
So for me, like Sandra, it was because she was tough.
That's why you were not sharing. And for her, she was busy and at the same time tough.
Yes. So you find like
young mothers, note down those simple things. We are sharing our experiences. We are being vulnerable just because we want to walk with you. to show you that life is not straight. As our life, marriage, everything is not straight, but every day we do. So, Babs, tell us.
Let me add on that. Being tough, you're not supposed to spoil your child by too much love.
Too much love.
But you need to balance it out. Because every time you're tough, your children will run away from you. They run away from you, actually. Like, there is no conversation between the two
and
of you.
again, when you love too much, like my mom, for us children, we take it for granted.
You need to balance, because when the Bible says, throw the rod and spoil the child. Yeah? She can even put her hand there, because she never knew any history in my life. Even up to now, she doesn't know. Yes, she doesn't know.
Mom, be better share. No, it's navigating. Tell us the other. We saw the positive. The Bab that will put herself there. What is that freaked you out, but at the end of the day, you survived?
Mr. Amiro was the first boyfriend.
Yes. Well, me at campus, I was not really exposed to boys, as I explained before, to men, and going to campus, I met my friends, of course. They were talking boyfriends, Maybe I didn't have.
You mean from senior 1, senior 2? You know that's all your secondary life. Never heard of boyfriends? No one vibing you?
I knew boyfriends were there, and even my close friends really had boyfriends. But me, for some others, I was telling me, they never vibed me. Even the one that vibed me, I didn't find a reason for being with him. And I told him, let's be friends, or get another girlfriend and be too. You understand? I didn't really get the point of having a boyfriend. Although I had friends who had boyfriends. But well, for me, what I can say is when I reached campus, and of course campus is different. So my friends had boyfriends. So first of all, when they asked, when they were talking about when they talk about boyfriends, they think maybe you're dating or sleeping with these guys. So she was asked, they were talking, of course, when we were going to this boyfriend's hostel. Me, I used to commute because my home is just close to campus. So I used to commute. So when we were like, we're going to our boyfriend's place, you're not going to your boyfriend's place. So I told them, boyfriend, for me, I'm a virgin. People, they laughed at me. Like, they didn't laugh, but they didn't believe. Because for them, they didn't know that.
They didn't know that.
It was
things happen.
It was awkward to them. They're like, a virgin? You cannot be a virgin. So they thought I was lying. You know what I did? I told them I am not. Because I could not stand them laughing at me. I was like, hey, you're laughing at me because... So the next time they said, I used to tell them, even if I told you I'm a virgin, you're not going to believe. So you take it that I'm not a virgin. You understand? So, yeah. That is how I went through, because I knew if I tell them I'm a virgin, maybe they would make fun of me, or maybe they would put pressure on me to defend myself from that. I told them I am not okay. I'm not.
Actually, I remember most people didn't believe that people can be there. Like, you can be 23, you can be 20
when you're a virgin.
Yes.
So now this takes me to this topic. How were you guys introduced to sex, this life? You know things.
How we got to know about sex.
Yeah. But Barbara, I'll start with you.
I remember way back, for me, we are
this one.
We are close to campus. So my grandmother made hostels. Started building houses, and people used to rent. Hostel guys used to rent places. Also this one, by the way, protected me. So we used to see girls coming in, coming out. This guy had this girlfriend coming in, and they used to use those girls. So me, I was like, I'm not going to be like these girls who they bring in and out. Tomorrow is another girl. So I didn't want that image. Now being introduced to sex, campus boys bring in a lot of girls. So I think we were seated at home. So this guy brought in a girl, and so they were having sex in their room, and the door was a bit open. So they were seeing, I think we were seeing, so they kept calling each other, come and see these ones, come and see. Also me, I saw, but I think I didn't really put a lot of focus. So I saw them, but at that point I was not really, I was like, hey, so they are having what? Of course they don't realize what they are doing. But of course I knew I saw, but I left it there. I really didn't take it So that is how I got to know actually people. That is what they call sex. So when I grew up and got to know about it, I remembered also that people were having sex. You understand?
So this one thing about Barbara's story, like even men not vibing you, it is
not
also
a problem.
It's also for your advantage because the more boys like fighting for you, everyone you are moving for you, you get disrupted. That's why I'm like because people called her but she survived. You know? But so don't feel bad.
Yeah,
And
very
here
true.
she is.
Yeah, very true.
Here she is. So Sandra Loops.
Also, but
How did you hear? Okay.
Sandra, don't let maybe peer pressure like led you to do something wrong. For example, had I listened to my friends like laughing at me because I'm a virgin, I would have maybe gotten a boyfriend. You know?
Feel bad.
But I like you find your way through things. Find your way through things.
Yes. Yeah, Sandra, tell us.
Me, the journey of being introduced to sex, I think it was still primary through these TV shows.
Yes.
Yeah, TV shows. I remember those days there was a show called Sunset Beach, and then there was also Generations, that South African thing. And I had my aunt who was in secondary by then at home. She's the one who introduced us to those series. Yeah, because for her she was a bit old. And you know when you're watching with a teenager, for them they will not be like parents, like parental guidance. So we would
watch them.
Yeah, we could watch them, and that is how I got to know that okay, there is love. There is love through those series on TV. But I thank God, however much I watched them, I did not go into the act. I did not. Because like what I told you before, I feared having sex before marriage. But that is how I got to introduce to know sex, know the love story, and then also that soap that we talked about, the ebonies, those teens, they could act, and then you know when you fall in love with someone, you have sex, people are sick. There is HIV. Actually, they used to instill us fear of HIV. Unlike now, people don't fear AIDS. Actually, I hear girls say they fear pregnancy more than HIV because HIV can be treated. But for us, we used really to fear both. We used to fear HIV, we used to fear
being pregnant
and being pregnant at the same time. So that is how I was introduced to sex. But those soaps of long ago, if I talk about them, compared to the things that kids watch today.
They used not to show the real act.
Yeah, they used not to show the real act, and then they could show us also the side effect of it. So you could choose the good and the bad, because women would be heartbroken. They would end up like you sleep with a man who has not yet married you. He would leave you and then go to another person. You'd be like that. So it made me outweigh. Yeah, you balance and say, okay, this is good and this is bad. So me, that's how I was introduced. But maybe what I can tell to parents out there, these days you need to watch the programs your kids watch. Those days our parents never you've done.
And the thing is, even me, how I was introduced to sex, it was through the soaps. Usually I share with Sandra. For us, we watched every soap.
Woman of my life.
Every soap. And that's when I realized that, okay, people do have
sex.
But we encourage parents, yes, we watched them, we're introduced, but this generation, it is totally
they want to practice
different.
What they see.
Yes, they will practice.
And they listen to their peers more than the
parents. So you leave your child with the phone and they go watch pornography, friends.
Yes.
So Beatrice, how, okay, for you, maybe your story already.
Yeah.
But somehow,
having grown with that dad, he introduced the theory and the side effects.
if your dad was around, he was Mr. Wood.
Mr. Lieutenant David Chirac.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he always treated me like he wasn't going to be here for long. Now, when I grew up, I knew why he was doing
what he was doing.
Yeah, why he knew.
Yeah.
But to be introduced to sex, like I've said, and this has traumatized me a lot in my relationship. Like, I'm strong-hearted. By the time I got married to my husband, I hated men. I hated men. I would guard myself.
It's understandable.
You know, I would cry all the time, but without him knowing why I'm crying.
Why you're crying.
Yes. But God has given me the grace to forgive like people. Like you find me talking to a person and like, because I remember when we were dating, I was open to my husband once. And when I was open to him, he I don't think he fathomed, even right now I don't think he understands very well. But things that build a woman and make them hard-hearted, there are so many things. So as you get married, you need to know the kind of person you're getting married to, how broken they are, how to help them. But like I've said, family, I would rather be introduced to sex by other people, but not family. That is why right now, like I'm Christian, but me, I think every day, every minute, I'm thinking about my daughter. If I'm not able to pick her, I'm scrutinizing the person who is picking her. I feel like my children are not safe, mostly the girls. But that is because they know from growing up there, then and growing up also in the other side of the village, then these were really close people. So it was up close, being up close to sex, but with a minor and with a person that you know. I thank God these people, I would say I escaped rape, and one of them, they really came and apologized to me when I grew up. One of my cousins really came and I think it was eating him up. These people are right now married, and was like, I'm sorry. But we were many. One time I found one wanted to take an advantage of my younger sister, I almost killed him. So how would these people do? And so our grandmother would go to dig and would leave the young kids alone. And they would know that they have left the young kids like almost 7 at home. And the house was very big. So they would run back and come back. Someone running to go and, rape one of the girls, things like that. I don't know about the other girls that were with at home, but that is how it was. So reaching campus, I was already a broken person. I hated men, I didn't like men, and I would treat men like, not in a bad way, but I would be mean. That for you even to approach me to tell me that you love me, who are you? It would take you guts. And first of all, if you're not a Christian, even I would not waste my time on you, because I knew what you wanted and I wasn't going to offer. So to really know, like, these people introduced that image of sex, but I didn't know about penetration and all that. So one time at campus, we had a group of girls and friends who were like, they have a movie they want to show us. So we're a group of like 4 girls. We went to this guy's room. So these people were spoiled. Remember, they're going to put pornography. So we sat, you know how girls can be in people. That is when I was introduced actually to pornography. And they put this thing causes so like pain causes me headache. I feel what headache. I was like, I'm out of here. I stood up, got my bag and went. Wow. But that seed doesn't leave you the purpose to protect our children's mind. Because at that time, the devil plays on your mind. Either you want to try out what you saw. First of all, men are available. Like people who are willing to sleep with you, they are available. But God helped me. That was a time I met my husband now, and he was someone who would draw you so much to God. He was someone who was into books. So he helped me cut off. Actually, I don't know if Dennis hadn't come my way, I was going to be a different person. Wow. Because at that point, it didn't matter whether I grew up in church, but it was the devil was fighting for my soul. Yeah. He was fighting for my soul, because at the time when he comes, I would read him briefly. I was tormented. I would be dating Dennis, then if he had these issues, we would break up immediately. Already there's a line. There's someone waiting. There are people who are waiting. All the time you're receiving calls, you're receiving calls. So, and yet these people, have you ever seen Stanley Okulamzo Moyo? Yeah. I don't know if you guys watch those movies when you're young, where the devil is putting on black here and here white. So it was like that. So Dennis would be like this, pulling you towards Christ. But when you get an argument, you'll be like, wow. So, and yet But when you be on the other, I didn't like that life because how was the life there with dating those boys? I wouldn't even call it dating. What was it? I don't know. There were people who wanted to.
Just passing time.
At the end of the day, after you've gone out, they will give you the life. The out that Mr. Gundi can't give you because he's,
You're Christian, no?
But they would show you the world, they would take you, out to money, but at the end of the day, they want a piece of you. So like,
Wow.
But meanwhile, Noli Naitalekedao is still pursuing. So in that kind of chaos, it was hard. Really, the youthful life was really hard, and I thank God.
Yes.
Also,
Wow.
thank you. I want to just bring this out for parents. Also, I remember, maybe you're guiding your child, you're telling them. I remember one day I was young actually this time around. I think I was like 3. So I was playing outside, like, going to get, Saimto? How do they call it in English? I don't know. So I'd go to collect, I'm going to cook my food, collecting. So there was this hawker, I don't know this man. I think the man was just passing. So he was passing, he calls me. So my uncle, for us at my home, we have a lot of trees. So this guy calls me and I go. So he calls me and takes me like down the tree and he tells me, show me here, show me here. I was 3 years, imagine. I think like maybe it was the Holy Spirit who helped me. My was like, no. So I think it's also important to teach our kids these things, even at a young age. I don't know how I say it, no. But imagine this man is just walking. Now imagine what if he raped me or maybe defiled me or something. Because he called me, but I remember that thing very well. He called me and said, show me here. Show me here. I remember I said no about, did I run away or something? But it comes back in my head. I'm like, I survived. God, because maybe this guy had HIV or maybe
In this generation, as parents, we need to teach our kids as long as they start saying mommy, daddy.
Because they're already exposed.
And the maids also, they touch their private parts. So if your child maybe 3 or 4 years, you can tell them wash your own susu. Don't allow anyone
touch your private parts.
Actually, anyway, that would be another topic of parenting
and all that.
Let us not go there.
Wow, that was from us, Wives Rising. As we said in the first place, we are sharing these things to show you how the Lord has helped us. At the end of the day, we are not like different from you, but the grace, it has really covered us. We are Christian women. It will always be our conclusion that at the end of the day, the grace has helped us and it has covered us. So I don't know whether Beatrice, you have a final conclusion and all that, so that
my final conclusion would be to parents, because my dad, like you've seen her, played a huge role in my life. My parents, including myself. Let's calm down, let's not be so harsh on these children so that they can be able to share with us. Another thing, let's teach them the word of God. At campus it was so chaotic, I could have slid and gone dead, I would be dead. But the word of God that was instilled in me upheld me then. So that's my last conclusion.
Wow, thank you so much, Beatrice. Babs, anything for the youth?
I would encourage the youth to know your worth. Put yourself out there. Know have self-esteem. Know that you are good enough. No matter what. If it's a girl telling, because even girls can, bully others.
Boys.
Know your worth. Know your weak points and use those weak points to your advantage.
Thank you so much, Babs. Sandra, anything for the youth?
For the youths, what I can tell you, to add on what Babs has said, know your worth, know your value, have values, have a vision that you can follow in you and say, this is my statement. Actually, the right word is statement. Like, this is the thing I follow. No matter whatever it comes my way, no matter the circumstances, if I say A, my A is my A. Don't let your A be your Z. If your no is a no, let your no be a no. Because these days temptation is high, homosexuality is at its level. So you might survive a man, but you might not survive a fellow woman. So your no, let your no be a no. Above all, God. God. I know you might be having different beliefs, you might be a Muslim, you might be a Christian, but at least have God in your life. Those godly characters always push us.
That was us. Bye-bye.
See you next time. Don't forget to subscribe.